Hey, y'all. This is Koi, and welcome to the podcast. Self care is selfish. That's right. I said it. And I'm being selfish right now, doing what I love to do. Talking about personal development, a little bit of odd facts here and there, and esoteric ish. Yeah, I'm one of those people that like to talk about the planets, stars, angel numbers, and chakras. That's me, okay? So if you're curious to find out, stick around, get cozy, and let's get into this. Ever had a nudge or a pull to do something and don't know why? Or better yet, the total opposite. Feel like you have a calling towards something. Ever feel like that in your business or on the road to entrepreneurship? Well, I want to talk about a few situations along the path of entrepreneurship and what limiting beliefs that could actually make you feel a bit lost within that path. Are y'all ready? So, my belief with entrepreneurship is very parallel and feels synonymous to one's spiritual journey. Even though some people may talk about how the spiritual journey is something that we're all on through our whole life, right? But we can also debate that not many people choose to be on a spiritual journey consciously, and not many people are actually awakened to spiritual truths that are on their life path. And I do feel that for me, I've become awakened in a way. I do want to I want to have a special episode about that, about my crazy entrepreneurial journey that made me see certain signs and how I felt like I was becoming Hansel and Gretel, if you may, like following breadcrumbs of a path that was kind of feeling like deja vu, but not really. It also felt like what is going on? am I really on the right path? Do I really want to do this? Because I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle, you know. But I do feel that entrepreneurship is synonymous to one's spiritual journey, regardless of how we debate what the term spiritual journey is, right? I feel that you don't know what's going on, so you're exploring a lot of new things. And a lot of these new things, you're learning lessons in this, right? A lot of times when you think of lessons, you also think of failures. And you have to shift your mindset from being a failure, because the word failure hits pretty heavy. And once you can get over that word, you start understanding, okay, I'm learning these lessons. These lessons were meant for me to learn, to make me stronger, to make me better, to stop repeating certain cycles that feel uncomfortable and just feel outrageous, honestly, right? And it also gives you a chance to look at who you are, who you are in that present moment, who you're becoming, and who you released from what you don't want anymore. But it comes a time when there's just like hard truths and reality smackdowns that you really just don't like, and it's like you have to understand the purpose of things. And that's why I ask, are you really grounded in your purpose? Because being grounded in your purpose brings deeper passions and brings more inspiration, like from an internal source for your creativity. Because it's one thing to be inspired by an outside source, a person or a place, right? But when you're inspired by source energy, spirit, the universe, God, right? If it feels different, it just rocks different. It's a little different. Like when I was asking, do you feel called towards something, or you just are intuitively nudged and don't know why, and you're actually following that feeling, regardless of which one you are. Being grounded in your purpose is a whole self-discovery. And I want to talk about a few different situations that may resonate with y'all that are listening. And um, what limiting beliefs can really block you from moving forward and meeting your goals? Because when you're not grounded in your purpose, it can feel like a lost soul. You can be out here just winding around in circles and not knowing why. It's reminding me of a quote that my mom used to always say when I was young. I did not quite get it until I got older, but she used to say, "Don't care, have no home." And I'm like, what does she mean, don't care, have no home? Like, I don't get what she's talking about. But when people don't care, they really don't have true value of self. Because remember, home is not a place. A house is a place. You can make a home your house, right? Or you can make your house a home. But home is where the heart is. I know I'm saying a lot of cliche things, but um, home is where your soul resides. And if you don't care for anything, mm, you know? So let's talk about a few different situations here. I think that a lot of times we worry a lot that can be blocking us from meeting our purpose or understanding our purpose, right? Because there is a soul purpose that we all have here with God given talents. And a lot of us have a talent, but we take it for granted. A lot of us have talents and just don't know, right? Haven't really taken time to understand themselves because they have grown up in certain situations that cause them to, at a young age, take care of others or just be in this anxiety that they're not really connecting with. When you think of being grounded in your purpose, you have to think of like the root chakra. And the root chakra talks about, in essence, when it's balanced, because your chakras are meant to be or should be balanced. But because we are energy beings and because there's a lot of stuff going on outside of us, it's really up to us to actually tune up our bodies. It's kind of like a car, right? You can drive that car miles on miles on miles, but after a while, it's going to need a tune up. It's definitely going to need gas and an oil change and like tires rotated, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And if you don't, it's going to bust down. And that's just like our bodies. Our energy gets out of whack too. And a lot of it deals with our thoughts and our emotions, besides the spiritual things that are happening that is unseen to us. But in this realm of our reality, we do know that we have thoughts consciously and unconsciously, subconsciously, right? And then we do have feelings. And those things go back and forth. And when you can be in reality, in the present moment, you can actually reflect and notice, like, okay, this is what's going on. This is not what's going on, or this is what I don't want to feel. And when you're worrying, right, you're worrying because a lot of times the stuff didn't happen. That's like anxiety. Or sometimes you're worrying because of things that happened in the past and you don't trust yourself enough to know, like, hey, happened in the past. I know I can do better next time around. Not tapping into your true emotions also, like being in a situation that doesn't allow you to look at your emotions, in a true sense of being present and being like, okay, how am I feeling today? Like, is there really a wrong or a right answer? Especially if you're being true to yourself, right? And I would beg to differ that you would know or wouldn't know that you're being true to yourself, right? Being present with yourself, your thoughts and emotions will help you not worry. And if you're in a situation where you're worrying about money or worrying about what other people say, or feeling like people are after you for some reason, that needs to be checked out, because that can block you from feeling grounded, feeling present within your body, and it damn sure will block you from knowing your purpose. Because what is the purpose of you worrying in the first place? You got to be present and reflect on that to know in the first place, right? So, a situation where you're worrying about what you don't have, right? Let's say you really want to be self sufficient, you want to be an independent business owner, self made person, but you have these limiting beliefs around money, you have these limiting beliefs around yourself that maybe stem from childhood that you don't like looking at, right? How is that going to make you a better business woman, man, or whatever, self-sufficient, when only looking at the positive things instead of the negative? If you're familiar with the word shadow work, right? I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, what the heck is that? It sounded a little bit ooh, and the first time I tried it, it was definitely ooh, but it was me. Like, it still was me. And a lot of times we're taught to, stay positive, stay motivated, and look for the positive all the time. And sometimes it's just you're in a shitty ass season. And you gotta look at that stuff to be real with where you're at in that moment so you can move forward. And so you can be like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this. I deserve better. And I want to release these thoughts and emotions. And wanting to do better is actually one step to seeing your value, and it's totally a place of self-love. And that's making it one step closer to being that self-sufficient, self-made business person, because you have to have these attributes. You have to be determined. You have to persevere through thick and thin. Persevere when shit is not good, and persevere when things are good, because you know that there's ebbs and flows. Not to worry anyone, but when you're self-sufficient and you're grounded in your purpose, you know that the end goal always will result in you doing your best at what you do in the name of XYZ, which is your purpose. Let's talk more about not seeing your value, right? You want to have a business. You don't know what yet. You're not sure. When you want a business, you want to ask yourself why. And you also want to look at your talents and skills. When you don't see your own value, a lot of times you overlook your talents, because everybody has God-given talents. This is why I always say everyone is creative, because we are. You may not be the creative artistic type, but it all stems from that anyway. And to see your value is to know your talents, appreciate them, because we could be talented in something and take it for granted. You could be a genius in a, I don't know, piano, right? Playing the piano, and you take it for granted, like, oh, I just have this gift, and I don't know, I don't really care for it. You're not passionate about it, and that's why you're taking it for granted. But there's a reason why you have that talent, and maybe if you explore more ways that make you happy and tap into your emotions a little bit deeper, so you can actually understand your passions, and you'll wind up seeing what aligns with that talent. And eventually you'll be able to create something that's passionate, that's purposeful, and actually is something that's allowing you to use your God-given talent. Just like the saying goes, you never work a day if you're doing something you love, right? Um, Sometimes when people take their talent for granted, their God-given gifts, they don't see it like as a passion, but you can align it with that. You just have to know and go through the fire of um, the determination and perseverance to get to know yourself, to do some extra work that's internal. That might not feel that great all the time, but I'm telling you, it gives you more purpose, and it also brings about purpose of your life, that sole purpose of what you're here to do. And when you don't allow yourself to discover your strengths and weaknesses, you might not reach that purpose. And that's going to block you from having a business that thrives and is sustainable. A lot of you may be going through some things that you need to forgive about yourself, things that just didn't feel really good about who you are or where you came from. And that can be blocking you. Some things that might sound crazy enough. Like there's a quote that says, if you intimidate someone for being yourself, realize that that's because of the person's own weakness. It's not you, right? But because for some reason, right, when you go back to your past, there were situations where people were projecting their own pain and hurt onto you, and you carried it for a long time. That took away from your self-love. It's time to put those burdens down and focus that on you, and learning that you deserve to grow, have that soul growth, and take time for yourself so you can get to learn yourself all over again. We can hold on to beliefs that we were this whatever person at age 6 and you're like 36. Are you truly that same person? Absolutely not. I don't care what you went through. I don't care if you had a good 30 years. You still aren't that same little child as you were when you're older. And my point being is that, a lot of us want to learn things, but soon as something seems a little bit similar, we kind of ball out. We kind of fade out into the bushes, oh, we're not doing that. But if you always think from a place of, you don't really know. And that's where the ego and the true self, authentic self, gets knocked around sometimes, because you really don't know. And I can sit here and say, oh my God, I'd love to know everything. But even from discovering so much, I still don't know. But I will share my experiences because I feel confident enough in knowing that someone is going to resonate and someone is going to feel inspired by a story that is shared. And your story is pretty big when you are learning to actually niche or start branding your business. Um, and that's something that I really love to do, y'all. And side note, shameless plug, if you are able to look at the links wherever you're watching this, right, in the description or whatnot, check out what I do because I love to help people see their own beauty within themselves and really see the value in their business so they can really truly create a unique offer, a unique product or service, and ground that into their reality. A lot of ideas are great, but they stay up in the realm of the brain and where ideas come from. And they don't really get to be processed enough in order to cultivate profits, right? A profitable offer, a profitable product, something that you can actually cultivate. And it's like giving birth to a child. You want to nurture yourself as well as what you're incubating so you can then be ready for when it's born and feel happy and passionate about this new thing that you got going on. So, what I'd like to advise to you, my listeners that are here, that are resonating, that are rocking with me, I just want to tell you that you are always your greatest project that you'll ever work on. And through self reflection, through self discovery, through personal development, you have to make a choice to love on yourself first and foremost. You have to make a choice to start discovering more about yourself and how you can implement your skills and your talents towards your passions, towards these projects that you want to work on, that you can actually go through a process of trial and error and what works best for you, what is connecting with your future clients, right? And really work through a unique creative process that you can understand so you can rinse, recycle, and repeat. So you can start connecting with people that also see your value because that's how energy works, right? When I speak about the root chakra of feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling present within your body, that allows you to literally grow roots, right? Not in a way where you can't move or anything like a tree, but you're unwavered by the naysayers, the haters, and whatever else is going on around you, or whether it's like distracting you or whatnot. And you're grounded in your purpose. You're grounded in the seeds that you grew a while back that you might have forgot, but you didn't forget enough to stop nourishing those seeds, stop nourishing those goals so you can see things through. And it takes time, it's seasons, and there's sometimes just different processes for different projects. And it is a learning process altogether because, again, when you can go into things of thinking like, okay, I'm open to learn regardless of this feels the same, or open to learn when I'm rinse, recycling, and repeating, you'll wind up seeing or feeling or definitely learning something new. Just like if you're watching your favorite movie, right? Um, Usually, if you're paying attention enough, you're going to find something new from watching that movie. Or you're going to fall asleep and just laugh and repeat certain things. Because you're not really looking at that movie with purpose. You're just there letting it play. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have for this episode, y'all. I'm not sure where you're watching or listening to this, but I really appreciate y'all for rocking out with me, listening to the whole thing. I'd love for you to drop a comment wherever you're at. Just tell me what stuck with you from listening to this. And also, if somebody you know may love what I'm talking about, definitely share that with them. That's the best way that you can support me, support what I do, support my channel, and just help me grow, because I'm out here, an entrepreneur, just trying to help other healers heal, help creatives do what they do best and see themselves in the light that I see them. So, peace and blessings to you, and be ready for the next episode. Until then, I'm outie. If you're feeling the vibe, please subscribe. Peace.